welcome to another episode in Life After Alpine. Today we're very lucky to have with us Miss Alexandra Demou, the founder of Welcome Home Mexico, which is a relocation company in Mexico. Alexandra, we're very happy to have you all the way from Mexico joining us today for our series. How are you doing?
Thank you, Manos. Thank you for having me. I'm very well. How are you?
We're great as well. We're looking forward to hearing from you. Would you like, Alexandra, to tell us about your time studying in Alpine and how has Alpine helped with your career and has helped you to reach the career position that you hold today?
Definitely. I'd love to talk about Alpine. My studies at Alpine, I feel, helped me in many different ways, and in all of the jobs that I've had since leaving Alpine. I've done several different things since Alpine, and I feel that even though some of them weren't directly in what we think of as the hospitality industry, I think there were many things that I had learned in the hospitality industry that really helped me in those jobs. So after studying at Alpine, I went back to New York. I'm from the New York area in the United States. And I finished my bachelor's degree from New York University in hotel and business management. And one of my very first jobs was working at the Mandarin Oriental, which I'm sure you know. And I worked in Columbus Circle in New York. So obviously Alpine helped me in every which way there. I worked a lot in FOB, I worked a lot in the banqueting department, and then they put me as a permanent position in the spa, which was very interesting. We had a lot of celebrity clients, and having the knowledge that I had from Alpine, I was very well prepared, probably more prepared than many of the people I was working with. I ended up changing careers actually for a short while. I did my master's degree also in New York in education, and I became a teacher. So even though it's not directly hospitality, there's still a little bit of things that come in when you're dealing with parents, when you're welcoming people to the school. I don't know, many things that I learned at Alpine even helped me in the education industry. And finally, I now live in Mexico. I've been in Mexico for 11 years now. And I have a company that I started 5 years ago in relocation. So I'm sort of back to hospitality. We are welcoming foreigners that come to live in Mexico City and work in Mexico City. So there's a lot that ties in to Alpine, to the professionalism that you have to have, understanding foreigners living in a foreign country, visitors, what it feels like to be in a new country, offering them services of where to go, what to see, ties in a little bit into tourism. So I feel like now I'm really using sort of full circle, and now I'm back to using everything I learned at Alpine.
That is fantastic, Alexandra. I guess that you ended up where you wanted to be at the first place after having your way around the industry. Would you like to speak a bit about your business and how is it related to hospitality exactly?
Sure, I'll tell you a little bit more about it. Mexico City is a booming city where a lot of companies come. Well, we have a lot of big companies that are already here, but we continue to have big companies such as Google, Amazon, that are coming and opening offices here in Mexico City. So basically what we do is we work directly with those companies, and they hire us in order to relocate usually it's their top executives. So what does that entail? It means meeting with them, finding out a little bit about their families, welcoming them to the country, helping them navigate. And the most important thing is we find them a place to live. So usually it involves renting an apartment for them, finding a school for their children, so that, we set up school visits and school interviews and having them go through the application process to get their kids into the schools. And then basically helping them feel comfortable, have a sense of community. A lot of times the families that relocate to Mexico, the men are working and the women are they don't speak the language, they're sort of lost, no? They come, they don't know the neighborhood, So we basically help them to meet other people, to give them a tour of the neighborhood, to show them where the supermarket is, everything. And also included is a lot of paperwork, like helping them get their visas, their driver's licenses, everything they need to basically live and feel comfortable in their new temporary home.
That is great, very great of you. So I guess you also might be helping them with learning the language as well, and everything really that they need in their life. Am I correct?
It's really everything. Yes, you're definitely correct. It's everything. We recommend, if someone wants to take Spanish lessons, we recommend where they should go. Yeah, you're absolutely correct. And we sort of, serve a little bit as a concierge service, although I don't promote it that way. Mm-hmm. But we do receive phone calls at all hours of clients that say, oh my gosh, I don't know, I'd really love to get my son into a play group, and what do you recommend? And so yeah, it goes a little bit beyond just finding. Yeah.
Fantastic service. Very nice for you to offer this service. I'm sure it's very well needed. Yes. I'm sure. Could you please, dear Alexandra, tell us about a memory that you had from your time studying in Alpine that still lives with you today and you want to share with us?
Definitely. Well, I have a lot of really great memories from Alpine. I was living there in Greece for 2 years while I was studying in Alpine. My father's Greek. I have family in Athens. So the whole experience for me was just wonderful. My greatest memories of Alpine are really the teachers, professors that I had, Mrs. Hoffman, and also the friends. Some of my closest and dearest friends still to this day are my friends from Alpine, even though we are separated by miles, they're still really some of my greatest friends. But I have to tell you one memory that I have in particular that I'm reminded of all the time. And it's kind of funny. We had an F&B. There was a lovely chef at the time named Mr. Ziggy. I don't know if you have heard of him, or he was from Austria. And we worked with him in the kitchen, and I was living in an apartment off campus, and my roommate was also a student at Alpine. And she was often running behind schedule. Let's put it that way. So oftentimes, since I was driving her to school in the mornings, a few times we would be late. And Mr. Ziggy, when I would arrive in the kitchen, would put me to peel 90 kilos of potatoes and chop 100 kilos of onions sometimes. So, we laughed the whole way through, even though it was a punishment. It was also rather amusing and fun. He always taught in a very sort of, silly kind of a way that made learning incredibly fun. And to this day, if I'm ever running late, which is not often, I always think of Ziggy, and I always remember, the importance of showing up and of being on time. So I think of him and of the Alpine kitchen often.
An amazing way to learn something at the hard way.
Definitely.
That is a great memory. Thank you for sharing it with us. Alexandra, could you share to our prospective and current students a message that you would have to share with them if you have something to share?
Definitely. I think, first of all, if they have the chance to study at Alpine, they're extremely lucky, extremely fortunate. I think this is a wonderfully exciting industry. I think that oftentimes we think of it, just as hotels and tourism and sort of a very sort of linear path. But what I've learned really is that the opportunities after Alpine are much greater than what you imagine for yourself. And I think some of the basic skills that you learn at Alpine, such as time management, organization, managerial skills, learning the job from the bottom, from your practice up. First, I think that those are all things that you can take with you almost into any career that they choose after Alpine. And I really, really think that anyone that goes there, I feel like it's a family. I feel that we have great connections with the people that go to Alpine, connections for a lifetime, really. So I highly recommend Alpine. I wish I could go back. And they're very lucky if they have the opportunity to study at Alpine, for sure.
Yes, indeed they are. Thank you, Alexandra, for your very nice interview. It was a pleasure hearing you. We wish you all the best with your company, and keep doing this great service that I'm sure that helps a lot of people with their life daily.
Thank you. And thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure.